Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matt, I am the American-Canadian Gamer, and today I want to talk to you about the Halo Master Chief Collection, Halo 5 Guardians, and Destiny, because this week has been E3 in case you've been living under a rock, and so many games have been showcased and so much is going on, so much news is coming out, and I've really been kind of focusing down on those three games in particular because those are the main three that I'm excited for this year and next year as well. And there has been a wealth of information released. I have not been disappointed about the things I've been hearing. A couple of things so far have seemed lackluster, but then again, we're still in the early stages of information releases for a lot of these games that we're going to see later this year and next year. And the first thing I do want to talk about is the Master Chief Collection, because that's the big news right now. The Master Chief Collection just kind of was, announced a little while ago, and now we're getting really good details about it. And this is a really good idea on Microsoft's part, and it's a really great way for them to try to move Xbox One units. And it's something that I think a lot of Halo fans could really appreciate, and it's all 4 Halo games that star the Master Chief on one collection. Yeah, the Master Chief Collection. It's Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, and Halo 4. And I am excited for this. It's going to be on Xbox One, so it's going to be Halo 1 Combat Evolved Anniversary, Halo 2 Anniversary, Halo 3, and Halo 4, all being brought to Xbox One alongside Halo Nightfall. It'll be the only way to watch Nightfall so far, at least as far as we know. And it'll give us access to the Halo 5 Guardians beta, which will happen December 27th through January 17th, later this year, at the end of the year, beginning of next year. So, let's talk about some of the things that we're going to be seeing in the Master Chief Collection. We'll start off with the single player first. In the single player, you'll be able to jump right into the game and play any mission from any Halo that you want right from the start. You don't have to unlock any missions, you don't have to play through the game, you can just jump in and play. Now, I don't know about Skulls. I don't know if Skulls will come unlocked, or if you'll have to go through and find the ones in Halo 2 and Halo 3, but my guess is they will probably be unlocked, because they're unlocked in Halo 4, and because there's 4 games in here, they don't want to go back and, make you unlock all the Skulls to be able to play through the games in that manner, which I would hope. I would really hope for that, because I don't want to have to go through and unlock all those Skulls again. Even though we know where they are, it's still just a little hassle, considering you can just jump to any mission anyways and go get the Skull. They're probably just going to let you unlock them, because everybody knows where they are now, and you can just look it up anyways. What else is there going to be? They're going to have playlists, actually, in the single player. You can actually use a playlist, so you can say, I want to play all the missions that only have the Flood in them, which, I would do because I love the Flood, which most people don't because they're space zombies, and anything with zombies is automatically awesome in my book. You can actually hop into a playlist. I think right now it's called Flooded at the E3 show floor, and you can play all the Flood missions, you can play all the vehicle missions, you can play the final 4 missions from all 4 games, so the last mission of each game. It's called the Final 4. And that's a really good idea, to be able to just go through and play multiple missions from multiple Halo games in one sitting back to back like that. That's a really great addition. It really does seem like they're pulling out all the stops with this, which the playlist single player, I think, is a brilliant idea, and it's something I wish I'd kind of thought of, and said, hey, why don't you do this? Because that's just one of those great ideas that will tie these 4 games together, and that tells me that all 4 games will be on one singular disc, which doesn't surprise me, considering the Xbox One does use Blu-ray, which has a much greater capacity than the DVDs and HD DVDs that the Xbox had used, and the Xbox 360 had used previously. Now, let's talk a little bit about Halo 2 Anniversary. Halo 2 Anniversary looks like it's going to be really awesome, and they're going to be doing the same graphical update thing they did with Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, where at any point in time, you can go through and you can change the graphical settings to see how the game looked in its original state compared to what you're playing now. Now, when you did it in the Combat Evolved Anniversary, it kind of faded out and faded back in really quick. They said that won't happen anymore, because the Xbox One is more powerful than the 360. When you do that transition, it'll be instantaneous, and there will be no transition. It will just happen right in front of you, which, again, is really awesome. And from what I've been able to tell, it looks like they're going into more detail with the cinematics, and I forget where I read this, forgive me, I couldn't find it, but Apparently, they got Blur Studios to redo the cinematics for Halo 2. The cutscenes will now be done by Blur Studios, which if you don't know who Blur is an amazing studio. They did the trailers for Star Wars The Old Republic. They did the DC Universe Online trailer, that really awesome, like, apocalyptic battle trailer that happened, and the couple other trailers that followed. Blur Studio is a really talented studio that does a lot of great work, and I'm really excited to see their name attached to the project because they pretty much are the epitome of what they do. They are the best, in my opinion. And they said the last thing that they're changing in Halo 2 is they're going to add terminals like they did in the Combat Evolved Anniversary that'll lead into the story for Halo 5 Guardians, which again is a nice little touch for them to do, which, you know, that's not bad. I don't really have much else to say for that besides, hey, that's kind of a good idea. So, let's talk about Halo 5 a little bit. There's a couple of things that really stuck out to me, and the first thing, which is a big for a lot of people right now, is that the Arbiter is going to be a major part of Halo 5, which is amazing. I am so glad to see him back, especially since the Sangheili came back and the Covenant came back. I'm wondering what happened to the other side of the Covenant, or not the Covenant, the Elites, that sided with the Arbiter and sided with the humans. I'm wondering how they're going to come into this now, because the Didact's probably not dead. Chances are he's not dead. He's probably going to come back, have an army of Covenant with him, and then that's going to be the humans and the Elites and whatever allies they can summon up to fight back against the Didact. I think that's going to be something really kind of awesome. I'm just glad to see the Arbiter back. He was such a major player in Halo 2 and Halo 3 that I think it's going to be great to see him reunited with a new Master Chief. And it's just going to be a lot of great opportunities for them to do a lot of really great things with the character and maybe flesh him out a little bit more and see him after the effects that rippled from Halo 3. Because Halo 3 ended with what happened with the humans, but the war continued for the Elites and the Arbiter back on their homeworld with the civil war that followed the conflict with the Flood. There was a major civil war that led to a schism of the Elites and the Covenant that led to you seeing the Covenant that you fought in Halo 4, and then there's also the Elites and possibly other Covenant that sided with the Arbiter as well. So we might see Covenant Civil War as with the humans intertwined in it with Halo 5 and the Master Chief trying to do something else and maybe the Didact coming back. A lot of really awesome things and possibilities that come into play just by mentioning the Arbiter's gonna be there. It really opens up a great world of possibilities. And Halo 5 Guardians, there was one more thing. No, all it was the that and the beta at the end of the year. Okay, one more thing. They did mention that all multiplayer will return in the Master Chief Collection. I forgot to mention this with the Master Chief stuff. All the multiplayer will come back. That includes every map and every game mode from every Halo game will return, and you can play them. Now, I don't know if we'll be able to play all of them online. We don't know about that just yet. I haven't heard anything about that. They may just leave it as only Halo 4, but then they also said that Halo 2's ranking system will happen across all 4 games. So does that just mean Halo 2's ranking system will occur in just the local multiplayer of each game, or that you can play them all online? We don't know about that just yet. I don't think they'll let us play them all online because there's a lot of rehashed maps, and I think it would just be a big split in the community. I think they'll leave it with Halo 4, but I would just like the ability just to go back and play all those old maps and having them all on one disc and being able to say, let's go play some Halo 1 Rockets on Sidewinder, or let's go do some Halo 2 on this map, or Halo 3 on this map, or let's do this in Halo 4. That's going to be really great because you can just easily transition between each game as you want. Wow, and that took up a lot more time than I expected. I don't have very much time to talk on this. I'm actually probably out of footage at this point. Okay, the last thing I did want to talk about is Destiny. Destiny, I've been watching a lot of stuff on Destiny, and I must say that I am getting more and more excited for this game every little bit that I see about it. Now, so far, the multiplayer footage, the competitive multiplayer footage, hasn't really been all that interesting to me, but it's partially because the setup they have at E3 isn't really all that great. It's a lot of 2-on-2, and it just makes it look really slow and boring. And we really need more meat and more people in the multiplayer match to really make it look that good. So multiplayer so far looks like it's going to be good, but we haven't seen it in its full form just yet. So I'll have more to say on that when we learn more about it. But the single player has been something I've been watching very closely because I'm very interested in the single player of Destiny because I don't have to worry about getting my butt kicked all the time. But the single player, there are a few things I noticed that really spoke out to me, and there are two just tiny little things. The enemies had a health meter, and there were damage numbers, which are two very big things that really do scream RPG to me because I love RPGs, I love first-person shooters, and I love a good fusion of the two, which makes it really weird that I haven't really played through Borderlands, but I really love RPGs and first-person shooters, and I really want to see exactly how you focus and optimize your damage and optimize your gameplay styles and how the different classes will interact and how their powers will both complement and possibly even detriment each other. It's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. I'm really excited to see that. The only thing was the FOV for the game looked really narrow, and I am a stickler for FOV. I mean, I'm not as bad as some people, but I like a wider FOV. And I can settle for like 80, but I really prefer at least 90, and I go for 100 if I can get it. I try not to go much more, but like I play Quake at 120, so seeing a narrow FOV for me is kind of a turnoff. I don't like a narrow FOV at all, but you know what? I'll get used to it. I'm used to it with Halo. I'll probably get used to it with that game, and it probably won't be as big of a deal as I think. Plus, you're watching it on a video and stuff, so it's really disorienting, and it doesn't really showcase the game properly in the way of when you're sitting down actually playing it. So we'll see what happens with that. Either way, Destiny is looking amazing. I'm excited for the Master Chief Collection, and there's so many other things that are happening at E3, but there's a ton of great coverage out there. Go follow Rev3 Games, The Escapist, or Polaris. There is a ton of E3 coverage out there that just goes through everything. There's footage for everything. There's a lot of really great stuff, and I can't really add much more to what's been seen. So, down in the comments section below, let me know what you thought about E3 this year so far, up until this point. What games are really exciting you? What games got your attention? Or were there any surprise games that came out of nowhere that you're like, hey, that actually looks pretty good. I might pay attention to that from now on. What do you think of the Master Chief Collection? What are you thinking about Destiny, Halo 5? What do you think about, like, Order, 1886? I mean, there's a ton of games. Do you think Nintendo's coming back fighting with full force now? Let me know. I'm interested to see what you have to say because E3 is a different experience for everybody. So, as always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. My name is Matt, and I'll see you next time.